China's yuan is at a 16-year low, and the country appears to be experiencing deflation. Economists say these are signs China could be facing an extended economic downturn. Lana has more on what's caused this crisis. Lana.
Yeah, real estate, because for decades, a strong housing market propelled China's economy forward, and it lifted millions of people out of poverty. In early 2020, property accounted for 59% of household wealth. That's according to a survey by the People's Bank of China. But it also created a leaning tower of debt. That same survey found that property accounted for 3/4 of household liability. Now, that's a pattern that's repeated outside of individuals because the growing property market helped to fuel rapid local government growth, but it also led to the accumulation of $12.8 trillion of debt. So with all of that liability, let's take a look at what's happening in China right now, because the housing market became wobbly after multiple real estate companies became overwhelmed by their debt. One of the largest, Country Garden, has $200 billion in unpaid bills, and it's inching closer to defaulting on its loans. Now, the property market defaults are also having an effect on shadow banking. Now, that's lending that's done outside of traditional banks. Unlike here in the U.S., the Chinese real estate market is particularly dependent on shadow banks. They're responsible for an estimated 43% of China's GDP. Now, another issue for China's economy, young adults. Youth unemployment is at 21%, and it has become so bad that the Chinese government has stopped reporting it. Let's give you some context. That actually means that 1 out of every 5 Gen Zers is currently unemployed in China. And as you can imagine, if you're unemployed, paying rent is a challenge. Buying a house feels unattainable. So all of this, along with global economic trends, have really created a spiraling crisis for China's economy. And that can be bad news for the rest of us. China is the #2 economy in the world. And in particular, countries like Zambia, Malaysia, and Chile, well, they have high commodity export rates to China. And for global corporations, a lack of consumer demand is expected. That's a big deal when you consider that the 200 biggest multinationals in America, Europe, and Japan made 13% of their sales in China. Now, there is also some additional concerns that domestic economic crises could push the Chinese government to try and make more aggressive moves against Taiwan. Maybe then it could gain access to the strong Taiwanese economy, but also that might distract from the crisis at home.